Hazel is a charming, dedicated, and hardworking consultant at an architectural firm in New York City. She has a sweet tooth, and her stress relievers are bread and pastries. One day, she drops by a bakery and orders a gingerbread loaf. Hazel compliments the bread in front of the man who served it. She asks if he had the loaf before, because it tastes really good. The short-tempered staff replies that he doesn't eat carbs. Hazel is humiliated, so she turns her attention to the television instead. Mark Clemens, who is known as the Cookie King of Chicago, announces the yearly Christmas bake-off competition. The theme will be Gingerbread Showdown. Contestants will make an edible gingerbread house with colorful Christmas decorations. Clemens Cookware will donate $100,000 to the contestant, who displays originality and architectural precision. Hazel is shocked by the huge prize pool and asks for the server's thoughts about this. He replies with an unfriendly face and says he doesn't care. He doesn't work for money, but to make people smile. Hazel doubts he makes people happy with his serious and boring customer service. It's Hazel's last day as a consultant. She has applied to be a full-time architect in the same company. Her dad in Chicago calls her about this and wishes her all the best. Being an architect is Hazel's lifelong dream. But she has a competitor, Ben, who graduated from Harvard. Regardless, her dad believes she is more intelligent than him and can win it. He wants her to rest and return home for Christmas after getting the fancy job. Hazel assures her dad she will win the position. Hazel has been a loyal and hardworking employee of Bloom City Design. At the conference, she is the only female. Her boss and colleagues tend to ignore her ideas. They need to change the materials of a structure and create a new model for tomorrow. Hazel gladly offers to take on the task, but the boss, Daryl, prefers Ben, and Daryl believes Ben can accomplish it faster than her. After the meeting, Hazel insists on taking the task because Ben seems too busy to do it. She loves 3D printers and promises to stay up all night to see the model through. Daryl appreciates her hard work. Unfortunately, the company chose Ben for the architect position. He is a better fit and gets along well with others. Hazel returns home with a disappointed face. She texts her friend Nina to ask if she's free tonight. She wants to have some sweets together. Hazel is special to Nina, who brings her homemade cupcakes instead of store-bought ones to make her feel better. Nina asks her what happened because she can tell that Hazel is sad. Hazel shares the bad news that she did not get the job. Nina feels sorry because she knows how important it is for her. She serves her the double fudge brownie cupcakes she baked. Nina teases her and asks for an honest review of her new recipe. Hazel's eyes glitter, excited to have the first bite. She loves the cupcake, and this flatters Nina. Nina shows her the cookbook she wrote. Its name is For the Sake of the Bake, and she wants to include the new cupcake recipe there. She already has a copy and gives one to Hazel. Nina wants to show her the introduction that she wrote. Hazel opens it and gets emotional. It's a heartfelt message for her mom, Jade, who passed away 2 years ago. Nina is her mom's best friend, and she is also her godmother. Nina advises her to take an extended vacation to visit her dad. Hazel is open to the suggestion because she loves helping her father manage their bakery during the Christmas rush. Hazel's mom is an excellent baker, and Nina credits her baking skills to her. The family's bake shop is famous in town for Jade's delicious bread and pastries. For Hazel, it's a great legacy of her mom that she will treasure forever. Nina looks forward to seeing her in Chicago for the holidays because she will also visit. Ted, Hazel's dad, is busy with the bills when someone knocks on the door. He is surprised to see his daughter, who is there earlier than expected. Ted thinks her boss granted her a long vacation to show his appreciation. Hazel informs her dad she did not get the job. Ted cheers her up and welcomes her inside. Hazel gets emotional with the Christmas decoration around the house. Her dad still includes her mom's name, even if she's gone. It's been so long since Hazel left home, so she takes her time to appreciate the warmth of the house. While Ted prepares her coffee, Hazel sees papers on the table. Ted says he is bookkeeping and runs through some receipts. Hazel reads some of them and discovers a notice for unpaid rent. She keeps it in her pocket before her dad sees it. Hazel asks for permission to go to town and use his car. Ted warns her to be careful because the ignition and passenger's window have minor problems. Hazel promises to return by dinner. Hazel arrives in their store, Hazelnut's Bakery. It is named after her. Across the street, she notices customers lining up at an establishment. Hazel checks their bakery's dining area, but is surprised to see vacant tables and chairs. She tastes their pastries, wondering if they're the problem, but a guy calls her out. He accuses her of being a thief for eating a scone. Hazel is insulted and informs him she is the daughter of Ted, who owns the place. The guy apologizes and introduces himself as the new baker. His name is James, and he asks Hazel if she likes the scone he baked. Hazel finds it delicious, but wonders why the shop is empty. In previous years, the streets were usually busy because of their customers. Ted tells her things have changed. There's a new bakery, Butter Up the Bakes, across the street. The line of people she saw earlier are its customers. In the kitchen, Hazel discovers more problems that her dad did not inform her about. Everything is a mess and needs repair. James is not a baker, but a contractor Ted hired for some renovations. At first, he only repaired a shelf, but it turns out that everything was about to collapse and the stove needed new burners. 2 months into his job, Ted hired him as a baker because he needed extra hands. Hazel is bothered that James has no experience in baking. James assures her he is trying to solve the problem. He heard about her mom and calls her an incredible baker. Hazel is grateful for his help, but she can't watch her mom's bakery fall apart. Hazel returns home and confronts her dad for not informing her about the bakery's problem. Ted explains he doesn't want to bother her in New York because he knows how busy she is. One thing her mom would want for her is to focus on her dreams. Hazel misses her mom even more as she looks at their old photo. She turns on the television to watch a holiday baking show. The winner's reaction makes Hazel realize something. She rushes to her dad. She knows how to save the bakery. The next day, Ted convinces James to join her daughter in the Christmas bake-off. James refuses because he doubts his skill will be accepted in a national competition. Hazel agrees he is bad at baking and his scones taste awful. However, she is confident they have a shot at the contest because her mom won the Christmas bake-off 4 times. They'll let her in once they found out she is her daughter. Ted reminds James that the price is $100,000 enough to save the bakery and his job. James agrees, but Hazel wants to assess his skills first. James showcases his baking skills in the kitchen. Ted and Hazel watch him as he prepares all the ingredients. Hazel doubts he can bake something with them, but Ted trusts that he can do it. After a while, he presents a lemon basil shortcake with raspberry icing. Ted finds this interesting, while Hazel says his idea is questionable. To her surprise, the cookie tastes great. James shares that it's his daughter's favorite, so he executed the recipe well. Hazel is surprised to hear he has a daughter. Her name is Claire, and she is incredible. Hazel offers him a handshake to welcome him as her contest partner. However, James refuses because he also wants to see her baking skills. He doubts she can perform in the kitchen because she is an office worker. James is willing to compete alone if Hazel can't reach his standards. Hazel is insulted and clarifies she is not just an office worker, but an architect. Ted thinks she can take the lead in building the gingerbread house. In the end, James is convinced and offers her a handshake. Hazel decides to leave the bakery early to think of a design for the contest. She looks at the unmatched tile on the floor, and James sees her reaction. He promises to fix it after his shift. Outside, the customers' line at Butter Up the Bakes catches her attention. She wonders why Nina is there. Curious, Hazel visits the bakery, and she is impressed at the spacious and well-lit interior. They also have fresh, presentable breads and pastries arranged at the counter. Nina is surprised to see her, but remains calm. She tells Hazel she dropped by to buy a tart. Hazel doesn't believe her because she sees Shelby at the cashier. Shelby is Nina's niece, and it makes Hazel furious that she did not tell her Shelby is their bakery's competitor. Nina explains Ted pleaded with her not to mention Butter Up the Bakes. Her dad wants her to focus on her career. Shelby notices her presence and gets her attention. Hazel smiles fakely at her ex-best friend. Shelby introduces Rebecca, her partner and assistant, who takes orders. Shelby explains she did not intend to choose the shop's location near their bakery. Hazel is not convinced, as she recalls how she stole her crush back in high school. Now, she is still the same, and steals her bakery's valued customers. After the incident, Hazel can't sketch a design for the bake-off gingerbread. She is bothered by the revelations since she arrived in Chicago. Ted visits her room and notices her problematic face. Hazel tells him she visited Butter Up the Bakes earlier and discovered Shelby owns it. Hazel is overwhelmed by the piled problems of the bakery and her father not telling her about them. Family members are supposed to be open, and secrets should be discouraged. Ted makes her a banana split to apologize. It's what her mom did when she was upset, too. It is effective because Hazel instructs him to be generous with the whipped cream and chocolate. Ted knows she is not on good terms with Shelby, and it's his idea to protect her. She may not like it, but he thinks it's the best way. Ted teases her that if she's still mad at him, he will eat the dessert. Hazel rushes to her dad to get the banana split. The next day, Hazel visits the bakery with the design she made last night. She is delighted to see the pastries displayed and thinks it's a good start for the day. Hazel finds James busy in the kitchen with a little girl. It's his daughter, Claire, who carries a tray of cooked pastries. Claire loves to work at the bakery because James gives her cookies in exchange. James asks Hazel if bringing Claire over is fine because her mom is busy. Hazel doesn't mind because she finds Claire adorable. She shows James the initial designs she made last night. The first is a house with a river, and the other is a castle with a moat. She suggests the water can be made out of frosting. At that moment, Hazel realizes that James is not paying attention. He is busy with the newly baked Danish pastry. James asks Hazel to understand him, because the bakery is open, and he's busy. He suggests she return next day, when he's free. James understands that communication is important in the competition, but it's not the right time for her to show up without notice. To make her feel better, he checks on the design she created. He finds it interesting because he can't draw. Hazel apologizes for bothering him and asks for permission to leave. She reminds him that there will be a meet and greet later in the city, and all the participants of the bake-off are invited. James promises he will be there later. Hazel arrives early at the venue. James is surprised to see her, gorgeous in formal attire. He offers his arms to escort Hazel for a graceful entrance. Inside, Mark Clemens talks to the contestants about the criteria. They will judge the gingerbread house based on overall appearance, creativity, difficulty, and craftsmanship. Mr. Clemens makes a toast, and the crowd applauds his short speech. There, Hazel sees Shelby present in the venue. She did not expect that she would join the competition, too. Hazel informs James about her, so that he can be extra careful. James is surprised to know that Shelby owns the bakery across the street. Shelby tells Clemens that Nina is her aunt. Clemens has worked with Nina before, and he is delighted that her niece will join the competition. He believes talent runs in the family, and can't wait to see her gingerbread house soon. Shelby and Rebecca jump out of joy after the conversation. Hazel also shares with James that Shelby is her former best friend, and the reason they hate each other is too complicated to share. Suddenly, proud Alan and his partner Doug approach them. Alan boasts they are popular, but Hazel apologizes because she doesn't recognize him. Alan is also confident that they can win the contest soon. Meanwhile, Doug asks Hazel if she is Jade's daughter. He is a fan of her mom, and she was nice to him when he started as a baker. Hazel is flattered by his kind words and says it means a lot to her. Moments after, Yasmin, also a contestant, talks to them. She thought Hazel and James were a couple at first. Yasmin shares she and her family are from Iran. She loves Chicago because even if they don't celebrate Christmas, the lights and decorations for the holiday are beautiful. Hazel is glad that she enjoys her stay in the city. Meanwhile, James asks Yasmin if she has thought of a design. Yasmin shares she wants to make a gingerbread mosque. It's a place close to her heart because it reminds her of joy, faith, and community, which she believes are the true essence of Christmas. Hazel and James love her idea and open up that they have no design yet. Yasmin advises them to choose a place close to their heart so they can't go wrong. Hazel thinks of a place after Yasmin's advice. James wonders why she is silent, and he wants to know what's on her mind. Hazel asks him if he wants to visit the place for their design so that he can see it. James has no choice but to agree. Shelby and Rebecca observe them as they walk outside. James is confused about why they are in front of the city hall. He may find it a plain structure, but the place is special for Hazel. When she was growing up, her mom used to bring her there. Eleanor Jenkins designed the city hall in 1897. She is one of the world's most recognized female architects. The part of the building that amazes her the most is the clock tower. The city hall inspired her to become an architect. In the end, Hazel convinces James to make a gingerbread city hall. Hazel starts her day early, after working all night on the design. Her only problem is finding a 3D printer. She called all the architectural firms in the city, to no avail. Ted suggests that she visit Lightbox Moderno, an architectural firm nearby, to find the equipment. While Hazel mixes wet ingredients for the gingerbread, she wonders why James is not helping her. James complains he is busy at the bakery, and he can't promise to always help her with the competition. Hazel suggests to her dad that they close the bakery for a week, for James to focus on the gingerbread house. Ted disagrees with her plan, because Hazelnut Bakery has never been closed during the Christmas season. Hazel explains that the bakery's customers have already transferred to Shelby's. No one even buys their pastries, but they keep spending on ingredients. Even if they open the shop for a week, the sales will not be enough to cover their debt. But if they close it and focus on the competition, they have a higher chance to win and save the bakery. It pains Ted to close the shop, but he trusts his daughter's decision. The Lightbox Moderno welcomes Hazel to use their 3D printer. The superior is amazed that someone wants to print a model for a gingerbread house. Hazel is grateful. The next day, Hazel arrives early at the bakery with the miniature model. It will help them replicate the building easier. James is startled to see her at the kitchen table. He is late because he dropped Claire off at the pool earlier and lost track of time. James is amused with the model and impressed with Hazel's precision. Hazel takes him home, where they read her mom's cookbook. James finds the kitchen cozy and enjoys the moment, while Hazel reads the book. He scans some pastry recipe, but doubts that the instructions are accurate. She tells him to get up, to see if his suspicions are correct. James is about to leave when he sees Hazel's baby photo, with her mom carrying her. He smiles at finally seeing Mrs. Stanley's face, because he heard stories of her excellent baking skills. James guides Hazel into the kitchen, as they follow her mom's gingerbread house recipe. Hours after, they are able to produce sheets of cookies. She is happy that it sticks together and tastes good. He looks at her and says her mom's recipe is accurate. She laughs as she recalls how he doubted the cookbook earlier. To celebrate the success of the gingerbread house recipe, James invites Hazel for a hot chocolate. Hazel agrees, but calls him out for staring at her. James denies this, but deep inside, he is attracted to her. They stroll around Oak Park and drink hot chocolate while having a conversation. Hazel misses Chicago so much because of its beautiful Christmas lights. James asks her how she feels to be back in town. Hazel had a great time, but it was also hard, because everything she loves reminds her of her mom. She misses her so much, and she can't believe it's been 2 years already. Hazel wonders if James misses his ex-girlfriend. James feels strange about celebrating Christmas without her, but he is happier to spend more time with Claire. James and Claire's mom got together after college. She is a great woman, but they grew apart eventually. Snow falls, and the atmosphere turns romantic. James shares he is not ready to fall in love again after his failed relationship. A group of teenagers breaks the awkward moment by singing a Christmas song to them. The next day, Claire helps Hazel with the gingerbread house. They stick the walls and hold them steadily until they bond. Suddenly, Claire asks Hazel if her mom owns the bakery. Hazel confirms this and says it was built years after she was born. Hazelnut Bakery is also named after her, which amuses Claire. The little girl shares that her mom is in the city and she splits her time to be with her in Chicago and her dad in Oak Park. Even if her parents have separated, Claire feels lucky to have them. James overhears this as he arranges the pastries at the counter. He is delighted to hear that his daughter appreciates his efforts. Hazel and Claire let go of the walls to see if it sticks. However, Hazel fails. She thinks that the cookie sheet's sides are the problem. James offers to give it a smooth finish with his equipment. However, he fails, so he bids goodbye to buy some cardamom. Hazel suggests they go together to the Christmas market, since they sell everything there. James refuses because he is busy, but when Claire signals him to be with them, he says yes. Hazel and James eat food at the market, while Claire checks out the toys. James asks about the unmatched tile at the bakery. Hazel replies it's a long story, but she notes that what is different about someone makes them special. Shortly after, they bump into Yasmin. They talk about the gingerbread, and Yasmin shares that it is going great, but is tricky to build. To make her feel better, Hazel tells her they also encountered problems. James asks permission to leave them for a minute, because his daughter wants to buy something. After he leaves, Yasmin tells Hazel that he is cute. Hazel responds that they are only partners for the gingerbread house and are not in a relationship. Besides, they live too far apart. Yasmin laughs because she only said he is cute, and nothing more. It appears to her that Hazel has a crush on him. At home, Hazel receives a message from James. He sent a picture of Claire with the toy they bought earlier. He is too soft when it comes to his daughter, and he feels like he is the real gingerbread man. James had a great time at the market and wishes her goodnight. Hazel is about to reply, but deletes it because he might think she likes him. The next day, Hazel returns to the market. Shelby ends a call from Rebecca to say hi to her. Hazel already saw her earlier, but pretended not to notice. Shelby wonders why she did not talk to her last time at the meet and greet. Hazel raises her tone and tells her she looked too busy impressing Clemens that night, so she did not bother. Shelby finds her rude, so she replies that she can't apologize for the rest of her life for what happened in high school. She's tired of it and thinks it's the right time to move on. Hazel thinks she can only move on if she hears a genuine apology. Shelby excuses herself before they can argue again. Hazel returns to the shop, pissed off. Meanwhile, James builds the gingerbread on his own. He asks her if she's fine. Hazel replies she ran into Shelby at the market earlier. James is curious why her blood boils when she sees her. Hazel shares they were best friends in high school until she stole her prom date, who was her crush since 5th grade. For Hazel, it's hard to forget the day your best friend stabbed you in the back. After James hears about the high school drama, he wants to make her feel better and shows her something. He placed another unmatched tile on the floor, beside her mom's. Hazel is teary because she finds this special. Hazel and James assemble the gingerbread city hall and spend almost a week on it. They give themselves a little break at night, and they go to the Christmas market with Claire. On the last day, the clock tower is the final piece to finish. Ted and Claire applaud the edible city hall after the tower is successfully placed on top. Hazel is grateful to James for his baking skills. James, on the other hand, replies it's her architectural skills that give life to their piece. James subconsciously says he is only happy in the room when she's with him. Claire and Ted look at each other with a smile, because it seems that something is going on between the two. Hazel suggests they should improve the clock a little more, because it's better if the hands move. Claire finds her idea cool and agrees with her. However, James thinks it's impossible to do so. Similarly, Ted suggests not touching anything, because it's perfect. James believes Hazel will not listen to them, based on how she looks at the project, so he warns her again to stop. Ted invites them for a hot chocolate to celebrate the gingerbread city hall. Ted tells Hazel her mom would be so proud to see her bake. Hazel replies she is only doing her best to save the bakery. Hazel is the last person to leave the room, and she can't stop looking at her masterpiece. The next day, Hazel receives an unexpected call from Daryl, her boss at Bloom City Design. Daryl shares that he made a terrible mistake in choosing Ben over her. He failed to win an important account from their biggest client. Daryl offers Hazel to welcome the new year as a full-time architect at Bloom. It takes a while before it sinks into her. Hazel is overjoyed at the offer because it's her dream to work there. However, she wants a week to think about this. Hazel shares that she is in the middle of an important matter and she wants to leave her hometown with everything fixed. He rushes her to decide quickly, so Hazel reminds him of the last time he said he couldn't choose her because she doesn't work well with others. He is caught off guard and gives her more time to think. Hazel makes a promise to call him back when she decides. Hazel starts her day early the next day. The competition will be tomorrow, but she wants to improve the clock. Without others' knowledge, Hazel removes the clock to find ways to make the hands move. James arrives at the bakery and catches her touching the gingerbread, which she promised to leave alone. They are partners and communication is important, but she did not inform him. Hazel is pressured, and James can feel that she's stressed. Hazel is irritated that he questions her idea about the clock. Her dream job awaits her return in New York, but she must fix everything in Chicago first. To calm her down, James reminds her that no matter what happens tomorrow, it's just a contest. Hazel is pissed off after she hears this, because it sounds like she's the only one who treats the competition seriously. The bakery is at stake, and she wants to do her best. James holds her hands to explain his side, because it's not what she thinks. Hazel pulls away and hits the clock tower accidentally. It falls to the ground and breaks into smaller pieces. James tries to help her pick it up. However, Hazel is furious. She blames it all on him and demands he leave right away. Hazel returns home, hopeless to save the clock tower. Her dad heard everything from James, so he checked on her. Ted tells his daughter that it's just a store. Hazel apologizes because she can't save it. Ted disagrees because he is the one who did not ask for help when the problem started. Hazel feels sorry for not being with him in those days, when he carried the burden of all the problems. Ted tells her, even if they can't save the bakery, the memories of Jade will remain. But Hazel is afraid that the last piece of her mom will disappear. Ted hugs his daughter and assures her that Jade will stay in their lives forever, whether there's a bakery or not. Nina visits Hazel at the bakery. Nina asks why she did not take a photo of the gingerbread City Hall, because it's unusual for her to make something pretty and not show her a picture. Hazel shares that she broke it into pieces. Nina brings her a cake to make her feel better. Hazel finds it delicious, so she asks if it's a new recipe. Nina does not answer, but directs her eyes at the bakery across the street. Hazel laughs because she can't believe she tricked her into eating something Shelby had made, again. Nina asks about the clock tower and if there's a chance to fix it. Hazel finds it impossible to finish because she can't do it without James. Nina asks, why not ask Shelby's help? Nina takes Shelby out of the bakery since she finished her gingerbread house with Rebecca. Shelby and Hazel look at each other with disgust. Hazel appreciates Nina's effort, but she can't accept Shelby's help. Shelby, on the other hand, doesn't want to extend her hands to fix the gingerbread City Hall. They are rivals in the contest, and it doesn't sound right to help her. Nina lectures them to restore their friendship. She lost her best friend, and it's a luxury to have one. Nina reminds Shelby that she did not ask for a dime when she helped her and Rebecca with the bakery. Now it's time to repay her, and she wants her to help Hazel. Shelby agrees, but clarifies to Hazel that she is only doing it for her aunt. Nina wishes them all the best because the competition is tomorrow, and they have one night to work on the clock tower. At first, Hazel and Shelby feel awkward with each other in the kitchen. Shelby breaks the silence and asks whose recipe they are using. Hazel shares that it's her mom's, but James is assigned to bake. Shelby tastes the cookie and finds the recipe delicious. When the gingerbread walls are ready to assemble, Hazel suggests they talk about what happened to their friendship. She feels that she doesn't exist to Shelby anymore. Shelby replies it's not a concern, because after high school, they have different circles of friends. People change, and it's part of growing up. Hazel understands her reasons, but she wants to ask what happened at prom. Shelby struggled back then. When Brian Walker, the hottest guy in high school, invited her to dance, everyone had their eyes on her. Shelby found it rude not to dance with him. People could have found out that she isn't straight if she turned him down. Deep inside, Shelby was eyeing a girl in class who looked stunning that night. Whatever reason she has, Shelby knows it was not right to dance with Brian. At that moment, Hazel feels sorry for Shelby because she now understands why she did it. Hazel and Shelby let go of the gingerbread walls, and they stick to each other. The girls reminisce about the good old days in high school, especially the librarian's reaction when they return overdue books. Hazel looks at Shelby and regrets waiting so long. Before talking things out, Shelby agrees. She almost forgot how fun it is to hang out with her. It feels great to fix the broken friendship and the gingerbread City Hall. Meanwhile, James enjoys his time at the market with Claire when someone calls him. It's Hazel, and she left a voice message because he did not pick up the call. Hazel apologizes to him and pleads to attend the competition later. She has an important thing to share and can't wait to see him. She hopes he can make it because it will not be the same without him. Ted helps transport the gingerbread to the venue. Hazel volunteers to drive the car because her dad is nervous. At the hotel, Ted accidentally hits a table. Fortunately, the gingerbread City Hall is fine. A staff welcomes them, and the different gingerbread houses amuse Hazel. Ted is delighted to see Shelby smiling at his daughter. Hazel confirms that they have already fixed their misunderstandings. Yasmin is already there too, and the mosque she created is beautiful. She is glad to finish it on time, after the difficulties she encountered. Yasmin wonders where James is, because he must be proud of the city hall they made. Hazel is also unsure if he can make it on time. Meanwhile, the competitive Alan and Doug proudly show their gingerbread house. It looks great, especially the snow, which adds a Christmas vibe. Mark Clemens climbs the stage to welcome everyone to the annual Christmas bake-off. The grand prize winner will be announced after the 4 finalists are chosen. He requests everyone to vacate the room, because the judges will start assessing their outputs. James arrives just in time to see the gingerbread city hall, before the contestants leave. Hazel is delighted to see him, and apologizes for what she did last time. James says it's fine. He knew there would be hurdles when he joined the competition. During their time together, he realized that he needs a partner who won't push him away when things get rough. Hazel can't blame him, because it's her fault. They sit on both ends of the couch, not speaking a word. Results are in, and everyone is requested to return to their tables. Mark announces the 4 finalists. For appearance, Alan and Doug win. Yasmin wins the difficulty criteria. Shelby and Rebecca win for creativity. And Hazel and James grab the craftsmanship category. Hazel hugs James out of joy, but he pulls away. Mark Clemens informs everyone that Hazel's mom is a legend of Christmas bake-off and won 4 times. Everyone claps, and it makes Hazel even more proud of her mom. Before the winner is announced, Mark requests a contestant to say something. Hazel volunteers to give a little speech in front. She dedicates the gingerbread city hall to her mom, whom she calls an incredible baker. She looks at James and apologizes that she made him feel less special along the process. She forgot to communicate with him and did things on her own, without his permission. This time, she will make sure it will not happen again. Yasmin wins the grand prize, and Hazel hugs her instantly. James apologizes to Hazel because she can't bring good news to New York when she returns. Hazel replies she will not go back there anyway. She can still fulfill her dreams in this town. All of a sudden, James kisses her, and Hazel doesn't pull away. Hazel congratulates Shelby and Rebecca for their gingerbread library. Shortly after, Mr. Clemens approaches them. He talked earlier with Nina, and she mentioned Shelby and Hazel's bakery. It interests him that their stores are across the streets. It is like a rivalry between traditions and trends. Yasmin will guest on his show in a few days, and he wants to invite them too. Hazel and Shelby gladly accept the offer, and it excites Mr. Clemens. Nina informs Ted and Hazel that she talked to her publishers, and they are interested in publishing a cookbook about the star baker, Judy Stanley. Nina thinks that Hazel can write it for her mom, together with James, since they are semi-finalists in a national competition. Nina negotiated an advance payment, and she believes it will be enough to save the bakery, while it waits for customers to flock in. Ted and Hazel are speechless. They may have failed to win the contest, but opportunities are on their way. Days pass, and Hazel applies at Lightbox Moderno, a woman-led company, where she feels accepted. They may not offer her the salary she expects at Bloom, but the warmth she felt when they allowed her to use their 3D printer is enough to say she is valued. After the competition, Hazelnut Bakery becomes popular. More and more people line up, similar to Shelby's. Hazel remains friends with her, and there is no competition in their business this time. Meanwhile, Ted is assigned to the counter to attend to the customers. James, on the other hand, continues to bake, and his romantic relationship with Hazel flourishes. Hazel helps them in her free time, and she couldn't ask for more. She has everything she needs: a successful career, a popular bakery, and a great love life. She steps into her mom's tile and whispers a Happy New Year.